There's a new electric car that's been spotted here in Australia. I actually took a drive in one of these when I was in Thailand and I loved it. The lady who was driving it, by the way, was a taxi driver who she did a couple of trips for us. She was an amazing driver, probably the best driver I've ever seen in a taxi, and she drove really fast, but I always, for some reason, felt like she was a safe driver. Anyway, this is the car coming to Australia. It's been tested, seen on Australian roads. I think it's probably coming to New Zealand as well, possibly other markets. But yeah, it's already on sale in China, Southeast Asia, and it's actually already on sale right now in Europe and the UK. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. I've always loved wagons. I mean, I don't really love talking about wagons on this YouTube channel because the electric wagons that there are none. There's none really here in Australia. And the ones that do exist, they're kind of like BMWs. They're very, very expensive, just out of the price range of, 99% of the population. But this is different. This is an affordable electric vehicle. Now, one of the things I love about this vehicle is it has a big boot. It's got about a 600 litre boot capacity. It's got plenty of range. It's actually really a nice car that I think a lot of people would love to own. Genuinely believe that. Now, it was reviewed by CarWow. CarWow said it was actually a really good vehicle. They said this: it has lots of equipment, good boot size, great to drive around town. And they said this: you may dismiss this EV as simply being a value option, but if you're clued up, you'll know there's much more to it than that. The MG5 was given a design overhaul in 2022, which was much needed. It came with a small bump in prices. The dowdy old car of old has been replaced with a stylish new look, sporting sharp lines in the bumpers and wide, narrow headlights. It looks, I think, for a station wagon, pretty good. And I can tell you now from sitting in one on a number of trips in Thailand, they drive well. They're fast. On the inside, I mean, the MG5 isn't, it's not amazing, but it looks pretty good. It's got a 10.25 inch infotainment screen. It's also got a digital screen in front of the driver. It's got Android Auto, CarPlay, etc. And there's a very cheap one you can buy in Europe. It has a 57 kilowatt hour battery, 156 horsepower motor. Driving range for that model is 250 miles. That one, though, I don't think is coming to, for example, to Australia, because that's the entry level version. Now, starting price of this vehicle right now in the UK is £31,000. I'm going to guess it's going to come to market at around 55,000 Australian dollars, which is about 34,000 US dollars. Now, journalists are saying when this car was first launched in 2020, it wasn't very attractive, but they're saying now, thanks to some significant upgrades, it looks a lot better. And I've got to say, I think it looks good as well. Now, the number plate of this vehicle has been scanned. People have scanned it, and it does prove that it is the MG5 electric wagon that has been seen here in Australia. MG have confirmed as well that they are planning to bring this vehicle to market. We know a couple of other features about this vehicle as well, right? There's 3 levels of regen braking, but none are apparently quite enough for full one-pedal driving. The base model has 154 horsepower, so about 120 kilowatt and 280 newton meters of torque. It'll do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour or 0 to 62 miles an hour in 7.3 seconds. It's not particularly fast, but I think that's more than adequate. In terms of charging and range, it now has a 61.1 kilowatt hour battery, which is a usable capacity of 57.4 kilowatts. That gives it around 250 miles of range, but there is also a long range version coming. It's got a bigger battery pack. We just don't know exactly what the range will be. Now, the bigger battery pack, I believe, is the same battery pack that you get in the MG4 long range models. So that might give it possibly around 500 kilometers of range would be my guess, but I can't say for sure. Now, guys, what are your thoughts on this car? Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you think it's something that's worth considering if it's affordable? Right now, there is no electric wagons that you can buy that are under the price of $100,000 here in Australia. So this would be a really good option for people who want something practical. And it's a lot more practical than an SUV for most people who don't really need an SUV. But what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.